What the Israeli regime is doing with its American partner principally is not just attacking Palestine and Palestinians, it's attacking the entire world. It's attacking the international legal framework. It's attacking the international diplomatic framework. Rule number one of diplomacy is you don't murder your diplomatic counterparts. This was a team that was in Qatar to negotiate a ceasefire. This was an attack on a residential and diplomatic quarter in Doha. There's nothing more threatening to the Israeli regime than negotiations and a possible ceasefire, because they see this as an inconvenient obstacle to what their plans are now, what their plans have always been, which is the total destruction of Gaza, the total destruction of Palestine, and completing its genocide there. Now, as an international lawyer, I'm compelled to say this was a serious violation of international law. So how does Israel do this? Israel does this because this is the product of decades of impunity, guaranteed by the US, guaranteed by our tax dollars. And Israel, because of that sense of impunity, it doesn't deny its crimes, it brags about them, right? It was also, I have to say, a clear case of US complicity. And it stood down US air defenses that are based in Qatar, allowing the strikes to take place on their own allies. And why I think that's important is because it reveals, again, if they need more evidence of this, the Faustian nature of this deal that the Gulf states have entered into with the US-Israel axis, where they've sacrificed their sovereignty, they've sacrificed their economies, they've sacrificed their honor, normalizing with the Israeli regime, even as it perpetrates a genocide. They're doing this with the expectation that means they'll be safe from the ravages of the US empire. Of course, it was always going to end badly for them, but I don't think any of them expected that they'd be thrown under the bus by the US so quickly. There is a tendency in the media to talk about these things as disconnected incidents, but you don't have to zoom back very far to see that what's happening here is an assault on the region and on the world. Genocide in Palestine, occupying territory in Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria, the transnational terror attacks in Lebanon with booby-trapped pagers, attacks on Iran and Syria and Lebanon and Yemen, this attack on humanitarian boats in Tunisia just in the last couple of days, and its extension of its proxies in our own countries in the West to attack students and academics and human rights defenders and peace activists. It is hard to understand how ordinary people are not able to see the seriousness of the threat that is facing us. This is our 1930s moment, and yet the world is sitting on its hands and not responding to this collective of horrors that is being perpetrated on it. And let's hope this is some kind of a wake-up call to the countries in the Gulf and to the countries more broadly in Western Asia. We'll see.